Howdy YouTube, and welcome to this episode of the Gunman. So today we're going to be doing the spray painting stage on this little red Corolla. So yeah, nothing that special to be honest, it's just a little red Corolla, just another job. It's one of many that I spray every single week, and I just felt like doing a video on this car, so here we are. I'm just going to talk you through the process. So obviously the prep work has already been done, the masking's already been done. I actually wiped this bonnet down here with some wax and grease remover or Prepsol prior to laying some wet on wet primer down here, also known as sealer in the US. So obviously there was a repair on that bonnet, just over that part that I'm spraying over now. We then primed it, blocked it down, did all the prep work. There was actually stone chips and like minor scratches all through that bonnet, so I fixed them all up obviously, and then I sealed it down with that wet on wet primer. For obvious reasons, I don't want to get that wet on wet primer over the blend panels or the guards that you see me wiping down with Prepsol here now. So I left them covered up while I did the bonnet, and I actually had a brand new bumper cover to spray at the same time, so I did that. But look, for the sake of this video, just to keep it short, I'm actually not going to be including any footage of the bumper. It's just going to be the bonnet and the two guards. So what I'm using now is a tack rag, so that's basically like a sticky cloth and obviously an air blower. So that's after wiping the blend panels down with a bit of waterborne cleaner and some Prepsol as well. So Prepsol is also known as wax and grease remover, and I personally like to use both. Now the PPG rep actually came out the other day and he ended up saying, well, you don't actually need to use the water cleaner. He said if you just wipe them down with Prepsol, that's totally fine. But I like to do my prep work dry. So I've found that when you're doing wet rubbing, it gives those blend panels specifically a really good deep clean. The water actually draws all of the dust outside out of the scratches from your prep work. So being that I do my prep work dry and I don't wet rub, I actually found that the water cleaner gives it a good deep clean inside those scratches. So that's part of the reason that I do it. Now everyone's different, you might not do it, and that's cool. You know, I've just found my own little system that works, and at the end of the day all I'm doing is showing you guys how I do this job. I'm not saying it's the best way, I'm not saying it's the right way or the wrong way, it's just a way that works for me. So you may have heard me mention that I'm actually using PPG, so that's something that's relatively new to the channel. It's a system that, over all the years, I've very rarely used it. I think I worked in one shop, I was just helping out to do a couple of jobs, and I did use it years ago, but I've never actually worked full-time in a PPG shop prior to coming to this shop here. So it's very easy to use. That's one thing that the very first thing I noticed going from Sando Blue to PPG is that the learning curve is so small that it's barely non-existent. It's like if you've sprayed paint before, you can spray PPG Enviro base. So yeah, it's a waterborne system. Now I have found that the coverage isn't quite there compared to the Stando Blue, which I'm used to. So a job like this would cover straight up in 1.5 coats. But for the sake of this video here, I actually ended up doing 4 coats on that bonnet just to be sure. Now look, I think it was pretty much covered after the 3 coats, but being a red, that's what you see me doing here. I'm just getting that light, and I'm not quite sure if it was because the panel was on a slightly different angle, but to me it looked like that bonnet was just a touch light. So I decided, for what it's worth, it's only going to take an extra few minutes to throw an extra coat over that edge there. And then same thing with the edges of the bumper, so the edges of the bumper that meet up to the guards there, I decided to throw an extra coat over it. And I also decided to put one more drop coat just over the entire bonnet, over the center of the bonnet as well. Now look, the way that I sprayed the Enviro base on this job here was I just hammered it on the first coat. I know there may be some people out there saying, oh, that's not how you're meant to spray Enviro base, but there was one guy on Instagram, like I've been asking like quite a lot of questions on Instagram because I'm new to this system, and to be honest, that was like, I'm so lucky. Like that was the best thing I ever could have done, is ask the community, and I'm so glad that I do have a good following on Instagram of lots of different people. I've taken loads of different people's advice and tried loads of different methods, but I've actually found, it was one guy from Texas, I believe. I think his name's like RHD Joe. I think it's like right hand drive Joe. I think that's what it means. But he was on I remember leaving a comment. He said, man, just smash your first coat on. You can even like double up on your first coat. Just get basic, like you say 90% coverage on your first coat, and then do 2 drop coats after that, and you're done. And I have found that is the best way to spray this PPG EnviroBase. I've been doing that for the last sort of week and a half, and totally loving it. So I have found doing it that way, obviously that first coat's going to take quite a while to dry, but once you got that first coat down, it's quite a quick procedure to finish it off. So what I have found with the 2 following drop coats, you just wind the fluid in an extra sort of 1 turn or something like that, depending on the gun you're using. Now for a couple of weeks I was using the Supernova LS, the HVLP one. I've got the Black Mamba LS Supernova, and that thing was doing really well. I mean, I did the silvers, some coarse silvers with it, and pretty much decided, yep, it's capable of spraying any color in EnviroBase. So after that, I just thought, it was actually this job here that I just thought, no, I'm going to use my Pro Light again, and same thing, very easy to use. Look, I'm at the point where it's like, same thing as the point that I got to with Stando Blue. It's more the way you spray it than the gun you use. So like the PPG guys here in Australia, I believe that they actually import Starterjet. Like the PPG Australia are the Starterjet importers. So they try to get you to buy and use their guns. They say, oh look, you know, use what you want for clear, but you should really be using the starters for the base coat. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts on that specifically, if you're from like Europe or America or the rest of the world, anywhere else but Australia or New Zealand, to hear what kind of guns are recommended to you. Like, do you use PPG, and do they recommend a specific gun, and is it Starterjet? And yeah, what kind of guns do you use to spray EnviroBase? Because look, I've only been using it for probably about 4 weeks now, and I'm already at the point where I think I could just about get any gun to spray it properly. It's more about how you spray it than what you use to spray it with. So pretty much all of the medium and above quality spray guns will have no dramas at all. Obviously, us painters in the trade, we do want a certain level of quality behind our tools. We're using them every day, so you're not going to see your average everyday painters using, you know, really ultra cheap spray guns. But on that point, I've actually been meaning to revisit some of those ultra budget spray gun reviews. I was criticized heavily in the past when I dismissed them without giving them probably good enough of a chance, and looking back on it, I was wrong, and I think that criticism was 100% valid. I didn't actually give them as much as a chance as what they probably deserved. So I would actually like to revisit those ultra cheap spray gun reviews and just see exactly what we can get out of them. Because there was, I don't know, look, back then I think I was a little bit more arrogant, and it was, probably didn't give them as much of a chance as what I should have. So hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video. As I said before, I feel like I've just smashed through it nice and quickly. I didn't do as many takes on the narration as I usually do. But all that aside, I hope you did enjoy, and until next time, get out there and paint some shit. Gunman out. I'd like to say a big thanks to everyone for watching, and if you'd like to support the channel further, you're more than welcome to go over and check out some of the merchandise we've got. My personal favourite is those spray suits, so they're a good quality Colad branded spray suit with the Gunman logo on it. There's also hats, drink coolers, hoodies and t-shirts, so be sure to go over and check out the link in the description if you are interested.